Hello, welcome to Confessions of a Frustrated Game Master. I am Robert, the narrator, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Confessions. Well, this episode of Confessions, I'm going to talk about something that I have done in the hobby that I haven't done in many, many years. And it's a little unusual because it's something that a lot of hobbyists in the tabletop role-playing game hobby do all the time. So it's a little weird. So I'll tell you more about it. So if you have listened to any of my previous episodes, the more recent ones, I may have mentioned that I have been playing D6 Star Wars, the Cypher, classic Star Wars system over the last couple of months. I had gotten to the end of development for my high fantasy tabletop role-playing game. Haven't been at the table with friends in over a year, obviously, because of all of the craziness that is going on. And I really, really wanted to sit down face to face and do some gaming. And I asked if any of the GMs in my local group would be willing to run some science fiction, which is generally not something that the game masters in our group really enjoy running. And I even offered, hey, I'll pay you $10 per session. I was really desperate, wanted to get some gaming going on, and one of my friends in the my local group said, sure, I'll run, but I won't run any of the games that you propose, which were all of the sci-fi games I proposed were recent releases like Aliens and Coriolis and games like that. But I'll run D6 Star Wars. Apparently, none of the game masters in my local group really engage with and keep up, especially in the sci-fi area with what's currently going on. So really wasn't interested in that, but I've been enjoying the D6 Star Wars game. And my friend who was running it said that he would run it for about 10 weeks and then we can try something else. And I proposed a couple of other games and the guys agreed on something else that's a little different for our group. Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. So one thing that I did that I haven't done in a really long time is I went out and I purchased the rulebook for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. I've had my eye on this for a long time. I wanted to check it out to see what they did with the game. So I did that. And I think I'm going to do a review based on actually having played or ran a couple of sessions of the game. So I'm going to do a full review. Just wanted to do maybe a quick look right now. But yeah, really excited about that. But the thing that I really, really, really haven't done in a super long time is I purchased the Gamemaster screen for a game. So I bought the 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade GM screen. I'm probably going to do an unboxing for that. But that's crazy. I am the type of gamer, I've said this before, I don't like buying games if there's not a super high chance that I am going to actually play it. I don't want books on my shelves just to read them unless it is a super unique product that I have to have, even if I know I'm not going to play it. I just don't want it. Like Invisible Sun by Monty Cook Games was such a unique experience that I wanted to own it, even though I knew there was no chance that we were ever going to play the game. So I really like what I've been seeing with Vampire 5th edition. Kind of cool on the inside cover. It has victims listed. So individuals that the player characters can feed off of. That's really cool. And something, just my initial thoughts of Vampire 5th edition is I feel that it makes good on the promise of the earlier editions or original editions of the game. The original editions of the game really pushed the idea of narrative and story and storytelling, and it kind of went at Dungeons and Dragons back in the day, being not about just killing things and taking their stuff, but overall, the experience that I think a lot of players have is with the game. It wasn't about story. It was just about guys in trench coats with vampires in trench coats with Uzis, and pretty much playing the game in a way that the game did not meet the promise of the game. And I think that some of that can be blamed on the mechanics and the system and some of the tools that they didn't put in your hands for you to be able to focus on story and narrative. But for me, 5th edition seems to be really trying to make good on that promise of story and narrative, something that my group has always said when it comes to Vampire the Masquerade is, so what are we going to be doing? Because in my local group, we do a lot of playing mercenaries. Like, no matter what genre or what system we're playing, we're always just mercenaries. You know, it's if we're playing supers, we're mercenaries. If we play fantasy, we're just mercenaries. If we play sci-fi, we're just mercenaries. So I think that my local group couldn't wrap their head around the idea where the concept of the game doesn't lend itself to us just being mercs out for money. What do we do in this game? And one great thing that 5th edition does, and I don't know if other editions did this, but I'm pretty sure especially the earlier or original editions of the game did not do this. They actually recommend that you be a coterie and that your coterie have a purpose. Basically, a coterie, you're a group of vampires who are together for a reason or purpose. Maybe the early editions didn't do this. I've never run earlier editions. I've only played them. So I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but it gives the players a reason for being together. You have to decide during character creation, and they recommend group creation, that you determine why your group is together. Are you a coterie who are directly serving the prince of the city? Are you a coterie who is tasked with protecting a particular special part of the city or a very important part of the city? So on and so forth. So it gives the players a reason for being together, and you know why you are together. The other thing that really feeds into that storytelling narrative, and not just being vampires in trench coats with Uzis kind of idea, is that you do something called a relationship map during character creation, where you put all of the player characters on the map. You determine their relationship with the vampire who sired them. You determine each coterie member's relationship with each other. And then you determine the relationships with the other important players in the city that the game is happening in. So from the ground up, it is encouraging you to put some character into your character. And you know me, I always love that. So I'm going to do a full review of the game after I have an opportunity to get a couple of sessions under my belt. But I'm really loving what I'm seeing thus far. I'm really loving the rules for hunger. One of the biggest adjustments that they've made to the game is, unlike previous versions of the game where you had a pool of 10 blood and you wake up and you lose blood when you wake up, and you, in order to fill your pool back up to use your abilities and to stay to stave off hunger, you feed. They have a really interesting mechanic, and I'll go over that more when I do my full review. So just a really quick look, a really quick update on what I'm doing and what is going on. And I'm still going to do content for my tabletop role-playing game, Peace the RPG, which you probably already know if you watched the channel at all. Did not fund on Kickstarter, but I'm not done with putting the game out there, sharing my creation with other folks, and I'm going to continue to do stuff like that. So just a quick video, and I think I'm going to do an unboxing for the Gamemaster screen. And yeah, so that's what's going on right now. And thank you very much for checking out the video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are watching this video. Talk to you later.